It was an afternoon after the stormy rain stopped after the rain. Mom had tiredness from the drugs to kill the growing things in her. I worried for her a lot and was scared for her a lot and wanted to stay by her. But sometimes I know she would needed to rest by herself, alone by herself sometimes. I was too happy to have Aunt Tanya to take me for a while. When Mom not around, Aunt Tanya had another different face she didn't show to Mom that I didn't like. I for sure wouldn't say this to Mom, for she couldn't have more worries about me or anything more to worrying on her mind. I was to go with Aunt Tanya on a boat ride to go fish. I started out bad, mixing my shoes up on the wrong feet and caused us to made it to the big boat dock into the water lake. Tanya had anger with me and yelled late slowpoke at me, and for that Captain Bill Rangard made me in charge of the bloody fish soup bucket to feed at the shark water in the water. Mom told Tanya to shouldn't drink too much. She hurted my arm sometimes to hurry me, and her breath smells funny like medicine. He pinched Aunt Tanya's behind and gave her a shiny thing to drink something out of. I moved out of the way from his big belly fat, and his rough face looked mean to me. He slapped me on the back. It stinged. He said to stir the bucket of bloody water. The fish heads looked not happy with no bodies. It made me sad. I named one Benny and one Mike. Aunt Tanya called me a good-for-anything dummy. She laughed with Bill Rangard. Her breath smelled funnier than before. She getted louder from the shiny thing she drunk. Captain Rangard said to me, "Stir, Andy, stir." So I did stir, I told him. He walked back funny to Aunt Tanya, who had a wrinkly face at me. When she looked at me, I looked down. She still had anger with me. I looked at Benny and sad Mike, and I cried too. I wish Mom were here. I wanted to go back. I told Aunt Tanya to maybe we could go back. She yelled loud at me to call me a spoiled sport and close my slowpoke mouth. It hurted again. I could only look down and feeling sad. I told Aunt Tanya like Mom said she shouldn't drink, I said. And Tanya laughed harder and slipped down onto the boat and slapped me for it. I cried over to Captain Bill Rangard, but he only laughed too and told me if I was not a mama boy now was I. Bill Rangard laughed again and get it a whole nother big bottle more to drink. He told me to quit my whining, and we were almost to where over to the sharks were. Finally, I couldn't only believe it. We were there finally to where they feeded the sharks, where there was no other boats anywhere as long as I could see in the whole sky over the whole water. Captain Bill opened another bottle after the others. He brought out more buckets of guts and fish from behind the door. I think he might fall, I thought, while he carried them. He dumped many of them all to the ocean. Tanya laughed very, very loudly. The loud boat was quiet and floating by the bloody water ocean. Many sharks came, very much of them quickly. The water was boiling like a swishy water. Aunt Tanya yelled to Bill to going over to look at all the whole bunch of sharks. There was 100 and 1,000, and I kept counting. They kept up swimming faster and more faster. Captain Bill and Aunt Tanya laughed, and Bill throwed more and more bloody fish juice for the sharks, and more came. Tanya leaned far over to see and tell Bill to move the boat away from them a little. Bill said okay, and Bill did not walk very at all good a way to over by the ladder. That's when I fell down to the floor hard because the whole big boat jerked and a loud big motor noise. I rubbed my head and to look over quick to by where Aunt Tanya was by the edge. But I could not see her no more, and Captain Bill screamed loud and yelled Mayday into the phone thing. And I screamed at Aunt Tanya to get out fast of the water, but she couldn't have not heard me, and she got bloody, I bet, and sunk with Benny and Mike and all the other many fish heads. I saw her leg, I think, once, and then didn't saw her again ever. After a while, other Coast Guard people came to arresting Bill Vanguard for bad drunken boating and having a minor close by danger, and for no more Aunt Tanya. I got back to Mom very safely and was very happier. She getted good news too, that her medicine beated away the bad things growing in her to her getting better and more well. I felt better too. We watched the stars came out.